Walk off eagle there. Heck yeah. Woo.
Alright, sticks and hacks, welcome to day one of the Duel in the Desert. Every year out at Pauite Golf Resort just outside of fabulous Las Vegas, hundreds of golfers get together for this 2-man, 3-day golf tournament. Day one is the scramble format. We're playing the Wolf course on a gorgeous February day. This year my partner Robert is a 20 to 25 handicap and I play to about a scratch. Let's see what this combination can shoot as I walk you through day one with a few tips on how to be the best scramble partner. I'll be using the Tangent app to track all the golf and show the shot tracer so you can follow along. Without further ado, let's get started. We started on the 10th hole, which is a reachable par 5 just slightly uphill. You can see the Tangent caddy recommends blasting a driver up the right side of the fairway. A little tricky as the landing area is blind from the tee box.
Yeah, I got a few cobwebs going this morning. I'll be good by like the 4th hole, I think. Went a little harder than I intended to last night. I know better.
Vegas will get you every time. A good tee shot from Robert frees me up to blast one down the left-hand side, leaving just about 180 yards to the hole location. Now throughout the video, keep in mind that Robert is a 25 handicap. He doesn't play in a lot of tournaments, and being a good buddy of mine, he definitely wants to show out. There's gonna be some rough shots. It's all good. I'm supposed to be the safety net. His job is to try to get us in play, and if he hits a bad one, get out of the way. A positive attitude, good vibes, and we'll have a great day. That approach shot rolled through the green and leaves us a pretty tricky pitch over a hill.
I don't think it does a whole lot. Yeah, just get it up on the platform and let it roll. Like I said, it is uphill the whole way, but you saw how fast the freaking greens are. Kind of like halfway between his ball and the pin, probably. Really good.
Robert struggles with short chips, and if you're a smart golfer, you'll put a putter in your hand whenever you can. A little Texas wedge, and he rolls that up to a little over 4 feet. Really good shot. I, on the other hand, love my 56, and with a little chip here, I can cover some of the uncertainty of the longer grass to get on the surface. And that's a phenomenal touch at the start of the day for a tap-in birdie.
I like either right between the bunkers or the right edge of the left one is probably the line I like.
Robert doesn't hit it quite as far as I do, and we were a tee box further back than the one the caddy is showing in Tangent, so we'll lay back a bit and aim for those bunkers on the left-hand side. After Robert puts his in the bunker on the right, I keep it left and out of trouble. The fairway is plenty wide and gives us some room for error.
Maybe a half a stick left of it.
In a scramble, you're going to hit shots that you don't like, especially if you're not the A player in the group, and that's okay. Any good A player is not going to get mad or frustrated with you. They expect you to hit some bad shots. The key is to keep your head up and shake it off. Have fun and do your best. Don't let a bad shot bring down the vibe.
Kind of got caught up in more wind than I thought was there. I like it a good 2.5 feet to the right of it.
Play your strengths. If you don't normally chip it, use your putter. Don't try to match the better player or do what you think a pro would do. By sticking to putter, Robert's more comfortable. He gets this way closer than he would have with a wedge, giving us a good chance to save par, regardless of what I do. And in this case, even I take putter. I got a great read of the speed and the line from his putt, and again, he freed me up to where I can cut the distance of the comebacker in half. And then better yet, Robert calmly pours that in the middle and takes the stress off of me. Easy par, on to the next. Know that in any two-man scramble, there's gonna be some adversity. After Robert comes up short in the bunker on this shot, I'm anxious to get one on the green, but I also know that long left on this hole can be a difficult up and in, and in this case, I try to take away the left and hit one of my worst shots of the day, blocking it into the water. Even A players hit bad shots. Now that we're greenside, I know this is not a strength of Robert's, and it's all good. He gives it his best, which gets out, but over the green. It's my turn to carry the load. A downslope and some wind, and that trickles and trickles and trickles to about 8 feet. If you're putting first in a scramble, you really only have one task. Try to hit it close to the line and with the correct pace. Speed is the most important, as I can't learn anything if Robert doesn't get the pace right. In this case he does, and he almost holes it. Now he makes a mistake here and picks up his ball without marking it, and immediately realizes it. This puts a little more pressure on me, as I can no longer be careless with the pace on this slick putt. But luckily I pour it right into the middle. I learned a lot from Robert's putt.
Yeah, don't.
I'll be honest, like as soon as I scooped it, that's it.
The 13th hole plays uphill and into the wind. You want to favor the right side normally, but after Robert hits this one into the desert, I'm a little cautious here not to do the same. A little fairway finder here goes up the left. This hole was going to be tough to reach into anyway, so we're in a good spot. I did my job.
Good, not great.
It's tough to tell from the video here, but this ball is on a decent upslope, and Robert struggles to make solid contact. He's a little frustrated, but I'll show you why this happens in a moment. And again, a good partner like Robert shakes it off and gets out of the way so I can pipe one down the fairway. That'll work.
Thank you.
Playing with a partner, you just want to ham and egg. Now if you look at these two swings at impact, there's a big difference. Robert has failed to get his weight to transfer up the hill onto his lead foot. He's hung back and is very flat-footed, versus myself, where I do a good job working with the slope and not falling back. We live in Texas. There's not as much slopes where we play. This leaves us a little over 40 yards to this elevated green. From where we are, we can't see the landing area. This green does tend to roll out quite a bit, and Roberts rolls on by.
Settle. 53 to the hole. I think I only need to hit this 40 yards.
I'm planning for quite a bit of rollout here. The elevation will also make the chip come in a little flatter. I like to pick a target carry number and focus on that for shots like this. Control what I can control.
I'm not going to dog cuss birdie putts.
I'm not stoked with how much we have left, but that's okay. Golf is hard. And again, Robert does his job well and puts pretty good speed on this so I can focus on trying to make the putt. These greens are slick and I barely hit this putt.
Oh my God. Oh, that was such a beautiful, that was tracking.
There's the first power lip of the day, but that's what you want in a two-man scramble. 2 good looks at it. It's an easy par, Robert knocks it in and we move to the 14th. This is a tougher dogleg right hole, one I try to cut the corner after Robert puts his in play.
The weight bunker's not too bad. Where you're going shortens up the hole as well, because this hole's a bear.
I step up and blast one over the corner that ends up just past the bunker. This approach shot is the only shot we missed on camera, and of course, Robert hits his best wedge of the day to 8 feet. Sorry, Robert. I loved this putt from Robert. It looked good all the way, and there's hard lip out number 2. Maybe just a touch too much pace. Both of these putts wiggled slightly left early on, and because we had the putt breaking to the right, it was just unlucky. We both lip it out. I really wanted to pay off Robert's approach shot, but it's an easy par, which takes us to the signature hole.
Good 4. That's a good wedge.
You guys had a second lip out.
Yeah.
Anytime you're on an island green, it's intimidating. Even with a large putting surface, Robert comes up a yard short here, where we likely have a tap-in birdie with that pen. Then I get to watch our competitor dunk one in the water right after. I wasn't thinking about the water before, but I am now. A hole like this can wreck a scorecard, and I have to find a way to get this on the surface. It's just a 9-iron, but I'm definitely nervous. And I hit a skinny flared one that only just covers the front bunker to make the green. It's dry, but a long ways away.
Oh, that's on the green. What a terrible shot.
Hey, I got nervous. But we're safe with a chance to 2-putt and get out of here. I'll take a 3 every time if I can get it on this hole. Robert's effort comes up a little short, but looked to be breaking towards the hole. I try to put it on a similar line, and I get the pace right, but it never really breaks back to the hole, leaving us this testy 7 to 8 footer.
First half breaks right.
Roberts goes right over the lip with great pace. And then mine goes right over the other lip. Just hit a bit too hard, and that's 5 lip outs in 3 holes and our first drop shot. Tangent's caddy has me cutting the corner over the right-hand bunkers on hole number 16, so we're swinging away to shorten this uphill par 4. And that's mission accomplished. Exactly where the caddy told me to hit it. The green is slightly elevated here, but it's just a 56 degree from 100 yards. We're at elevation, so the ball flies a little here, and that goes 20 feet or so past the hole.
Set. Yeah, I hit the short of the 2 clubs and then massacred it.
A pretty straight putt here, and Robert again puts phenomenal weight on it. Good partner. I don't have to worry about a lag with a 4 in the bag.
That was a good putt. That was a very nice putt.
That did drift a little bit left, maybe,
It did. I think it did.
but it was barely moving, so it's kind of just riding.
Like I said, yes.
Another close call, but it's an easy par on 16. "17 is a tougher driving hole from the tees we're playing. It's just visually intimidating. Robert squirts just over the cart path into the desert.
Should come back left a little.
Oh yeah.
And I seemingly also line up to the right.
Oh, head good.
Right at where I wanted, but it's in play.
Blocked it, but it's okay.
We find ourselves on a pretty severe side slope. Anytime you're on a slope like this, you don't want to fight it. Allow for the ball to follow the direction of the slope. In this case, aim to the right.
With that steep, and that shit is it's on the. Do what you do.
Good partner. Positive thoughts and vibes. And even better, he already has us on the green. Unfortunately, I don't aim far enough right, and we're left with a longer putt.
Yahtzee.
Remember to focus on your goal as the first putter. Good pace. Try to hit the line. It allows the next player to learn from you, and it secures the score. Robert gets us inside 3 feet and shows me it's a little slower than we expected down the hill.
Good putt though. Good putt, bud.
Another tap in. Boring golf is good in a 2-man scramble. The 18th hole does have a tougher green complex, and the water on the right can be in play depending on the wind. But from the tees we're playing, I can blast it past the water. Robert doesn't hit his best drive here, but that's okay. Team game, time to shine. And I blast one down the middle into position A. Robert hits one of his better approaches here and gets us on the green. On the green is always good from your first player. It removes loads of pressure.
What'd you get?
And every now and then, it allows me to hit a poor one. I yanked that one with our playing partners already on the green, so we'll use Robert's.
Sure, go. Come on.
Aimed it. Or was I aimed that far left?
Another great putt with perfect pace. Has a chance to go in and teaches me a ton. which I pay off with a bomb to shoot 1 under on the front 9. We're rolling.
Thank you. Take that, sir.
The first hole doglegs left, and Caddy wants me to cut the corner over the bunkers, which I do, but don't hit it quite as well as I'd have liked.
That's the shortcut.
Another scramble lesson. Don't be so hard on yourself. I know Robert misses this green, but it's in a safe spot that almost guarantees par. In a 2-man scramble, guaranteed pars are good. I hit a decent one, but I'm used to being long on this hole, and my ball rips back to the front side of the green.
Oh, short.
I just took a big spin.
Alright, we're gonna make the putt anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Robert does his thing, and another putt with perfect pace. Makes my life easy.
That's a really good putt, Robert. Really good putt. That's a good putt.
Gets like what, 10 inches outside?
I hit a great putt, and it just doesn't break like Robert's. Nonetheless, easy par.
Great. Hit harder than you.
You're rolling it well, keep rolling it well. They will fall.
Hole 2 is a short downhill par 4, and with Robert in play in the fairway, I can take dead aim and nuke one towards the green, leaving just a little over 50 yards. Now these are shots that Robert really doesn't like. We all have those. He struggles with tempo and really tries to help the ball get up in the air, when you gotta go down to get up. Let the club's loft do the work.
Hey.
And even though he
Coming
hates
over the
this,
green, we're
it
putting
bounces
it.
through the bunker and onto the green. It's not the worst outcome.
Green, baby.
Positive vibes. Lift each other up. And the reality is, I could stub this into a bunker and we'd use his. Robert did his job. Instead, I hit a solid one that checks nicely and leaves us a good look. Robert has been rolling the ball well and scaring the hole all day long. Until now. Big putt. Deserves a birdie dance.
You can do that, you gotta get it on camera, man. trying to make a channel. But good stuff.
That takes us to 2 under with a par 5 on the way. Hole 3 is a 524-yard par 5, but plays downwind and should be reachable with a good drive, which I hit, piping it 300 yards down the middle into the valley.
Nice ball. Thank you.
I missed it by like 2 yards.
It was close.
Aiming at the right edge of the rough. That's kind of the middle of the green. See what I'm saying? Like middle of the green, the right edge of the rough around that bunker. Kind of like that line.
But anything right of that safe, right?
Yep. You got tons of room on both sides, but commit to that line, or commit to whatever line you want.
If I try to swing at this, more likely it's going to probably go left a little.
The ball's going to be below your feet, so just let the club do the work. All you're looking for is good contact, and it's going to be a good shot. By no means do you need to crush it. There's nothing wrong with that, my man. That's actually perfect. I know you don't like it, but I do.
You're gonna wait for the green to clear.
May not like how you got there, but I like where it got.
I'll take your positivity. Do you?
The ball below your feet's a tough shot. There's no guarantee that I don't do the same thing.
That's good dialogue right there. Both supportive, talking it through, and we leave ourselves just off the back of the green with a great shot at getting up and down for birdie. Robert is going with putter. Always play with the slope. Robert hits a great putt here. Almost holds it, going just 10 to 12 feet by.
Wow. You had 10 feet, 12 feet?
Again, I'm freed up. I know we have a look. I can just try to beat the bar Robert set with no pressure. And I execute a beauty.
Good one.
Thank you. Thank you. That's not a shot I'm good at either.
Robert cleans up the birdie and takes us to 3 under, cruising.
But your putts are giving me everything I need to.
Robert's pace has been elite all day, and it makes it much easier on me to be confident.
Dance for me.
No tracer here on the 4th, but Robert hits a beauty onto the green. Probably his best approach of the
Dance
day.
for me.
Oh, nice ball.
Good putt, Robert. Or good shot, Robert. Very nice.
And after feeling a little relief, I take a mental vacation and block this one a little missing the green. We'll use Roberts for a good look at birdie. Par 3s are usually his strength.
I kind of see this spot like right here that I like.
Another good roll that just falls off. Job done. It's my turn.
So I guess you're right. I think I didn't go as high as maybe you're asking.
Yeah. It's good putt.
I take it a lot higher, and it just doesn't break. That's a par.
That's right, that's right.
The 5th hole is a dogleg right, but there's tons of room to the left. There was no reason for me to cut this corner, but it works out. Somehow it bounces left and stays in play. In the desert, but playable with just under 100 yards left.
Just like I planned it.
There you go.
Robert hits this to the right, but with the slope, it bounces back on the green,
Get up there.
which gives me the green light.
Oh, it's putting. That'll way. That'll work. Well, you needed to land it short, so because of that, I was worried you were going to carry it 90, which would be too much.
Go right at it, and thought I nuked it. But it's another good birdie look. We are ham and egging really well.
You're up to win. Even from over here, just don't see much. It is kind of in a weird spot where it almost looks like it could go either way, but I think it's like straight in.
I'm sure I sound like a broken record here, but it's another good roll from Robert. I have the line and the read, and I probably hit my worst putt of the day, not even giving it a chance. It was right in the heart. The 6th hole is probably my favorite on the course. It's a reachable par 5 with an interesting tee shot and a tough green. You really want to favor the left-hand side, just like the tangent caddy says. There's a speed slot on that side, and the waist bunker isn't near as penal as missing right. I crank this one, and while fading right, it catches the speed slot and leaves us a good look into this green.
Yep, there you go.
That's like a beautiful hop.
Yeah, I mean,
Robert is just laying up on the right-hand side to give us a good safe look and allow me to take a rip at the green. He doesn't love it, but it's fine. Showtime. I take dead aim with a 4 hybrid actually, and just nuke it.
It's fine. See the number.
Come on, be good.
Oh, sit. Wow.
Wow.
Got a hold of that one. That was painting the flagstick. Yeah, I think there's green back there.
It lands just over the flagstick and takes off. This is where we get into trouble. We're in grass, but the green looks like it slopes away from us pretty dramatically. So we have to go up and over a ridge to a green that slopes away. Often, if you're worried about going way long, you'd rather just rip off the band-aid and go long. It's much better than hitting scared shot after scared shot and leaving it short, which is exactly what we do. We both leave our first one short of the green, and then still feeling like the slope is diabolical, leave our putt short, so now we have 5 to 6 feet down the hill. And Robert's putt again comes up short, but he remembers to mark it this time. And I hit another good putt that gets another power lip. Honestly, I'll take the fall here. I probably talked Robert into being tentative by mentioning just how fast the slope was down the hill, and it turns out it just wasn't as fast as I remembered. My bad. Time to be a goldfish. Short memories, let's tackle the next.
Out of way, Robert.
Robert gets us in a good spot, and I can crank one down the middle.
Thank you.
This leaves us just 150 yards in an upslope by this drain. And if you go back to the previous lesson, Robert does it again. He swings flat-footed and tops it again.
You're just flat-footed, like you're finishing with your weight there.
Flat-footed on the back foot, bro.
So it'll
Versus
be
getting through it to your front foot. That one, we got it.
I step up and hit a good one, just painting the flagstick.
Thank you.
Out at Pauite, you get a lot of free flyovers from the fighters from the local Air Force Base. It's pretty sweet.
Man, that thing slides.
Robert's putt slides a lot here, but good pace again allows me to focus on making it,
Yo, beautiful. Very nice.
and that's a good way to ease that bad bogey on the par 5.
That time. Scared him for a while.
The 8th is an intimidating par 3. The green falls off hard on the right-hand side to a devilish bunker.
Can't go that way.
And after watching Robert put one in there, I overcompensate and nuke one long and left into a really tough spot. We're above the hole, going downhill severely. Robert's putt comes up just short of the green, and then I hit a good chip that releases well past. So now we're scrambling again after a pretty stress-free day on the golf course. Robert gets to try to save par first and hits a good putt, but it breaks off. So let's see if I learned anything. I put a good roll on this, but being a little more aggressive, it stays high and burns the right edge. Now this putt from Robert may seem insignificant, but it's a downhill lightning putt to save bogey. The wheels can come off in a hurry if he misses, as my head is spinning, but he pours it in. Last hole, and if you've made it this far, you are in for a treat. Best shot of the day is incoming. Robert gets us started, and I follow Tangent Caddy and nuke it up the right-hand side.
Oh yeah.
It's in the rough, but just 120 yards from this back pen.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how long Robert would have tried to move his ball before giving up had I not said anything. But here we go. Just a wedge to the screen.
Yeah.
Robert hits a great wedge here that gets on the green and allows me to see just how much it rolls out, which gives me confidence in my club selection. I'm hitting my 110 club to a 120 hole, taking dead aim as Robert already has a birdie putt.
You'll roll.
Well done.
If you listen closely, you'll hear our partner scream. It's a hole-out eagle for a 68.
Well. yeah. I'll come get it real quick. Walk off eagle there. Heck yeah.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Hell yeah. Thank you.